what's the latest here? Break it down for us.
Here we go, Molly. We're full speed ahead. The action is rolling. The Toronto Raptors have let people know this morning that the two teams in the lead for Kyle Lowry are the Philly 76ers and the Lakers, with Philly in first position right now. That puts the Heat in third place. Kyle Lowry is preparing to be traded to the 76ers. Now, in talking to executives around the league, they believe that this is a last-ditch move by the Raptors to get Toronto to get Miami to improve their offer. The last I had heard, Duncan Robinson was in the deal, but Tyler Herro was not. And only the Raptors know whether or not getting Tyler Herro would change their viewpoint. One of the factors here, guys, is that Kyle Lowry, who's 35 today, his camp has let it be known to any suitors out there that he's looking for a 2-year contract in the neighborhood of $50 million this offseason. So you don't want to pay a lot for him in terms of assets if he's going to walk on you. And so you're not just trading for him, but you're trading for him knowing that you may have to give him, a guy in his mid-30s that kind of money this offseason to keep him. So that's a factor here. So Philadelphia fans, you're closer than you were to Kyle Lowry than you were last night, but it's not done because Miami still has a window. Let's see how this plays out.
Wendy, work with me on this particular situation. I'm going to be a touch long-winded here, but listen to where I'm going. On Miami's end, I'm not giving up Tyler Herro nor Duncan Robinson personally, and it's not a matter of Kyle Lowry not being better than Duncan Robinson, but Duncan Robinson is young. He's a sniper with tremendous promise. I'm not giving him up. That's number one. I look at Philadelphia, and as much as I love Kyle Lowry with Doc Rivers in Philadelphia, if you give Kyle Lowry the ball as your point guard, what does that do with Ben Simmons, who refuses to shoot a perimeter shot? That's a question mark for me as well in terms of taking the ball out of his hands. And then in the case of the Los Angeles Lakers, who are they talking about giving up to get a Kyle Lowry? Or what are they talking about to give up to get a Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, so the offer that it would take something in the neighborhood of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Dennis Schroeder, and Wesley Matthews. That's the type of trade they would have to make. I can't say for sure that's the exact offer. But the interesting thing there is the Lakers have had talks with Dennis Schroeder about a contract extension. They have not been able to reach an agreement, and Toronto is one of the teams that is believed to be interested in Schroeder come this summer. So this would be sort of a flop out of Schroeder for Lowry, and then you sign Lowry and not Schroeder. Whether or not you think that's a good move or not is debatable. The thing with Duncan Robinson, he's also a free agent. And, he may command a three-point shooter like this. He may command something in the neighborhood of 18 to 20 million a year. So you may be deciding if you're Miami, whether you want to pay Kyle Lowry that kind of money or whether you want to pay Duncan Robinson that kind of money. But I have to say that this is sort of what we expected in these talks. We expected it to be sort of intense with a game of chicken coming down to try to juice the offers. Because as of last night, it just didn't look like Philly and Miami had put forth their best offers possible. And whether or not Philly has changed it or not, I'm not sure. Whether or not Miami is willing to increase it or not, I'm not sure. Whether Toronto truly believes what they're putting out there, I'm not sure. It's all a bluff game right now, but that's the information that's coming out of Toronto.
Daryl Morey versus Masai Ujiri. I mean, GM's got to be wary of dealing with either one of those guys because they seem to win a lot of trades. Meantime, by the way, I bet you THT is, and I don't believe there's a Lakers deal, but if there is, I bet you Masai is looking at THT. What is this Lonzo Ball news?
So the Chicago Bulls making this big move for Nikola Vucevic today. As you guys just mentioned a minute ago, major move also signals a fire sale in Orlando. Woj has already reported Evan Fournier may be headed to Boston in addition to Vucevic going out. So now watch Chicago and Lonzo Ball. Chicago is ticketed to have in excess of $20 million in salary cap space this summer. But now by taking on Vucevic and Al-Farouq Amino, they will not have salary cap space. So if they want Lonzo Ball, they get his rights. Today is the day that they need to get him. And they have been in talks with the Bulls, and they still have the ability to do that. They still have the assets left to make that type of deal.
Which assets?
If not Lonzo Ball. They have Lauri Markkanen, and they have other picks that they can offer as well. Markkanen's also a free agent to be. The other thing I would watch if you're the Bulls, I have heard within the last 24 hours there's been some conversations with the Bulls and the Trailblazers on Gary Trent Jr., like Lonzo, also a restricted free agent to be. Again, I would watch for Lauri Markkanen in one of those possible deals or elsewhere. But the Bulls, I do not think, are done. And Lonzo, I'm sure, is watching this very closely. I do think there's some significant interest in Lonzo in the Bulls. I think he maybe thought of it as a free agent destination this summer, but now the things have changed with this big trade.
Yeah, but Chicago, even with Lonzo, they wouldn't go. But so far, if you Lonzo, man, it's a damn shame you can't get to the Clippers because, my God, do they need him. They need him bad.
Lonzo on the Bulls, they're building
have
something.
made an offer, Stephen A.
The Clippers? I'm sorry?
The Clippers have made an offer for Lonzo Ball, but they're very limited in what they can offer. Basically, it would be expiring contracts and second-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Lakers, Windy? Anything there?
So keep an eye on the Lakers. Obviously, they're trying to be aggressive to upgrade. One guy to keep an eye on Terrence Ross, a high-quality backup with the Orlando Magic. If Vucevic and Aaron Gordon are for sale and Fournier is for sale, then Terrence Ross might be for sale too. Terrence Ross was formerly represented by Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, and the Lakers, I think, would have some interest in him. And he's been on the Lakers list in the past, so keep an eye on the Lakers maybe trying to see if Orlando is how hard they want to sell.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.